Hello and welcome to it's going to be a garden update, but Nikki said, why don't you do a little house update so that people know what weird things you're getting up to in the house. So this, as you can probably tell, is an unfinished bathroom. Over here we have the outlets for the shower, which is one of the next jobs to do. All of this needs cleaning and sealing because I have tiled with my wife. We've tiled this whole room, but we haven't sealed it, and it is a wet room. And down here, you can see, let's see, down a little bit further, there we go. Oh, you're going all over the place. This is currently how our sink is plumbed. So that is my other main job over the next few days, is to install the plumbing on the sink. The sink needs to move across about a centimetre. That's within the adjustment of the bolts. And then once the shower and the sink are installed, there's just trim to do. And it's sealed. There's just trim to do. And then we have a couple of other jobs in the house, and then we can finally be on to just doing more trim forever. More trim. My life is just trim. So that is the bathroom update, which I'm sure you're all super excited about, but it's only a minute long. I'm going to go outside now, and I will take you around the garden. I actually came to hide in here because I've just filmed the Sunday Musing, and it's been raining. It's probably still raining outside, so we might get a little bit wet. And like magic, we are outside. Now, I have just got back from my vacation in England. I went to go see my family and my friends. At least I saw a couple of my friends. Unfortunately, because my mum, I wanted to make sure that there was no chance I was going to take COVID to her. She's already had COVID twice, and only just survived the first time, really. So we isolated for a long time beforehand. We only saw a couple of friends just outside. So I'd love to go see the rest of them, but that wasn't going to happen. So anyway, all that long thing to say the garden is a bit of a state because we have been away for 3 weeks. Our family came and watered and made sure that things survived. But actually, this year we planned out our garden with the intention that we would be away. So over here, let's bring you over here. Over here, this is normally a big bed that we fill with vegetables. But this year, it's mainly borage. Borage is amazing. I am deeply in love with borage. We planted one. It has filled this bed. We actually saw it coming up before we left and decided not to remove it and just let it go. And in terms of the insect life around here, it's been amazing. We've come back and it's been covered in bees and hoverflies and all sorts of pollinators. It's gorgeous. But we do have a couple of squash. We have one down here. This one. This one is a little squash that produces ball-like zucchini. It's a summer squash, and it's doing okay. It's suffering a bit in the heat, but it's not too terrible. The sad-looking tree in the background is a cherry, which every year it just struggles with aphids. Yeah, any suggestions on aphids? We have an infinite number. Over here, we have actually done Three Sisters planting. You can't really tell because there's lots of other things that we need to deal with going on here that have grown while we've been away. But we have corn here, which is just tasseled, and it does have, unfortunately while we were away, it did do some cobs, which, because we have such a small number of corn, it's useful to pollinate them by hand when you have this few, because the wind pollination doesn't work if you don't have enough pollen. And we weren't here to do that. So we'll see what comes of them. I mean, it's not like we need the food. It's just nice for us to be able to grow it. It tastes really good. Down in here, also down at the base of here, we have winter squash. And for the first time ever, we've actually managed to plant the winter squash, the beans, and the sweet corn. So the beans climb the sweet corn when it grows. The squash keeps the moisture in. It's a traditional method of planting. It's a Native American traditional method of planting from a little bit further south than us. But we have been trying to use it for a few years, and this year we finally got it right. Or at least we seem to have. There's also some wild seeded tomatillos growing in there in the chaos. And then over here we have some stuff that we pulled up. It's just growing here. This is asparagus, and I am super thrilled. We didn't get around to planting it until last year, so this year we couldn't harvest it. It's just getting established, but that's really cool. These, incidentally, are Jerusalem artichokes, which we did not plant here. We planted somewhere else, but then we moved the soil, not realizing quite what a bad idea that was. So Jerusalem artichokes are now everywhere. Our potatoes are here. These down here. These are our potatoes. Apparently some mint. Mint and potatoes, very handy. The potatoes are just getting ready to be harvested. They've started to go a bit yellow. Some of them are still green. There are a whole different bunch of varieties in here because these are all wild ones that popped up in another bed that we moved into this one. Mainly things that we didn't quite manage to catch when we harvested last year. We did harvest last year in the dark, which is not a great plan. So that is our potato harvest, which is coming along nicely. These artichokes we didn't get to harvest because we were away, but as you can see, the bees really like them, and they look really beautiful. So we're very pleased with that. This bed is... So we deliberately let stuff go to seed. What you can't see, because I'm out in the garden right now, is that this thing is covered in birds when I'm not out here. And they love all these seeds. This is a bronze fennel, which we let go to seed. Incidentally, bronze fennel spreads like mad if you let it go to seed. So we have bronze fennel everywhere in the grass, out at the front of the house. It's just gone absolutely wild, but the birds love it. And this is sorrel, which has bolted and gone to seed, and that the birds also love. So that is that little bit. And then over here, I'm going to skip over the raspberries. We have our chickens. Hello, chickens. So they are sulking a little bit because they are behind a fence right now. This is fully enclosed to try and protect them from bird flu. And hello, lovelies. Yes. And so they're hiding in here. They're actually going to be joined by 2 more chickens, hopefully later this week, to keep these 2 company. And also hopefully to keep Pippi, who is on the left here, in check, because Pippi is an absolute butt. They are also very grumpy today because we have a new feeder. We bought it when we went away, and the idea is that they can stand on it and get their food, but it closes when they are away from it, keeping the food dry, stopping it getting spoiled, and also stopping rodents getting into it, which is great, except that Pippi absolutely hates things that make a noise, and also hates letting Astrid here do anything that she can't do. So at the moment they are currently grouching about the fact that the food is in a feeder that makes a noise, but they're going to have to get used to it. So it's currently half open so that they can get used to it. They can see the food, and actually Astrid, to be fair, can pretty much reach it if she really stretches, but then Pippi gets grumpy, steps on the pedal, and things get very exciting. The other exciting development in the world of chickens is that we have an automated door. Unfortunately, our automated door closes a bit early. It's just okay, but we have to check on them every day because sometimes Astrid here is what I think I would refer to in England as a dirty stop out. She likes to hang out outside and then get stuck because the door's closed. And unfortunately, R1 turned out to be faulty. It's adjusted to its maximum darkness setting, and it still closes within 5 minutes of Astrid's normal bedtime. So if she decides that she wants to come out and eat a bit more or have a bit more to drink before she goes to bed, then that doesn't really work. She gets quite upset then. So that is kind of our garden update. I mean, we do have some kale and things hiding over there, but I'm not going to take you over there because I haven't unpacked the brand new lawnmower that we brought back from England, because in England we have hover mowers, and in the US they're very expensive. And I couldn't find a battery-powered one in the US, and so finally I brought it back, and then I pretty much managed to sell one to the woman at customs in the US who was like, "What is this? Why have you brought it back?" And I explained, and now she wants one, which is unfortunate because you can't get them over here. We will be doing a little review of that. And so that is it, I think. That's it for the garden update. My garden updates will probably be a bit more sporadic because, well, I'm not quite as committed as Nikki to keeping this all in check. We just try and keep it tidy. Well, tidy's the wrong word. We try and keep it good for the wildlife, and we like to get it to give us some food. So we'll see what happens with it. It's been pretty productive the last few years. So this year we haven't planted as much, so it might be a little less. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching, and we will be back soon with more. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends, and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. There is a link in the video description. And if you really liked it, why not leave us a super thanks? It's easy to do, and everything you send goes towards helping us make great content. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and our other channel, Transport Evolve Take 2, and give the bell a gentle ring to make sure you are told the very second our next video goes live. Thanks on behalf of the entire TE crew that go out to everyone that makes TE possible. That includes everyone who supports us on Patreon and YouTube, as well as those of you who just watch our videos and share them. If you're a supporter at the charged up level, you'll see your name right here on my right. And if you just joined, we're sorry if your name isn't showing up yet. We currently render the list out about every week. And if you aren't aware, we do sometimes produce our videos in advance. Thanks to our self-driving tier supporters: Chris Maxwell, Pedro Muro Pinheiro, Patrick Boyarski, Bennett Elder, Brian Newton, David Kitchen, Michael Goad, Ricky Leong, Andrew Martin, Guido Drahota, Brophy Wolf, Tesla in the Gong, Gordon C., Stephen O'Donoghue, Kyle Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Dan Blair, Jim Burness, Chris Ascenta, Chris and Michael Johnson, Peter Dillinger and Denny Hyde, and of course, out of this world Starman support to our Starman supporters, Starman thanks to our Starman supporters: Anonymous Freak, Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, Rory Litwin, Joe Bresney, Reed R, JP Fagerback, Russ, Will Graylan, Matthew Drobnak, Kevin Burbridge, John Lyons, Andrew Glenn, Paul Conway, Laura Reynolds, Ellery Hensley, and of course Ian. If you want to be part of that amazing list, you can join Patreon at the link below, hit the join button below to support us on YouTube, or show us your support through Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or our cool swag store. Links are all down there. And if you're unable to support us financially, just know that watching the video and sharing it makes a real difference to our ad revenue. Thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving.